Hello everybody and welcome to a Black Friday special CraftStash Live. We're here at the normal time, but we have got 3 extra special guests showing you what you could be making with collections that are on offer now. Now we've got huge savings across CraftStash. That's across lots of our exclusive brands, lots of our other brands as well that we stock. Things like Sizzix, for example. We've got offers on the Switch at the moment. There's so much going on. You need to be signed up to our emails. I think that's the best way for you to keep on top of everything. Now every single Black Friday deal that you are seeing coming through to your inbox or seeing on the homepage at CraftStash, it's all going to be valid until midnight on Cyber Monday. So that's Monday the 28th. So midnight, that's when all of these deals finish. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to run you through a few of my favourites. And as I say, I've got special guests. So I've got Sam Calcott, I've got Helen Griffin, I've got Christina Griffiths, all supplying us with a little bit of their inspiration for the particular collection of theirs that's in the Black Friday sale. So we need to get started. We've got lots and lots to go through. Now I'm going to tell you about the first deal, which I think is absolutely phenomenal, and that's the PAPERCRAFT Society boxes. Now there's a range of these, a selection of these that are all on amazing offers. Now you're looking at these being from just £10, okay? Now the best way to find out all the deals, look, we've got the John Lockwood one there, John Next Door. We've got the one by Sasha Reed as well. This one's the textures one that I designed. There's lots of them from just £10. Grab these because they're worth over £60 with the contents. Then you get things like your downloads in there as well, which just tops up that value, sort of almost infinitively. I don't even know if that's a word, but we've got so much. So we've got the PAPERCRAFT Society boxes. We've also got a massive giveaway. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, shouldn't I? Huge giveaway, £150 worth of CraftStash vouchers split between 3 of you. Now, don't worry if you're catching this and you're not watching live, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to comment on this video, whether you're watching it on YouTube or whether you're watching it on Facebook, whether it's live or whether you're catching up. And we are not going to choose a winner until next Monday. So that is, again, Cyber Monday. We're not going to choose a winner until then. So you've still got time to enter. So what I'd like you to do is let me know if you were to win one of the £50 vouchers, one of the 3 that are coming out to you. If you were to win a £50 voucher, what would you spend it on? Now, I will repeat this question at the end because, as I say, you have got time to get involved with this. Now, okay, the first deal, we are, look, I've got all my notes here because I've got so much to tell you. We are looking, Made to Surprise. Yes, so Made to Surprise Shutterblind collection. Isn't that really good fun? You know that, yeah. You'll see them in just a second. So if you missed the launch, this is what the Shutterblind collection is all about. But we have a huge 30% off. Okay, massive. I mean, you won't find savings like this on CraftStash at any other time of the year. So let's see what Sam's got to say about the Shutterblind collection. A little demonstration from her as well to give you inspiration. Make sure you're popping it into your basket as well, and we'll come back for another deal in a second.
Hey everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So today I'm going to show you how to put together the 6x6 shutter die set. So these are some of the samples I've got. You can have the shutter plain, so different coloured cardstock, or you can stamp images as well. Basically, you just pull the tab and it will reveal whatever it is that you have underneath. This is all Christmas themed because it was part of the Christmas launch, but you can use the die with anything that you might already have in your own collection. You can see there we've got cute little Rudolph. This one's one of my favourites. If you've been on my social channels, you would have seen this one shared. You've got the lovely snowman there, and then you've got a different pose underneath. We've got this one here, Father Christmas. Sometimes I wish everyone was naughty. Do not open until the 25th. And there he is with his sack full of presents. We've got a Christmas tree with the crackers there. Have a tremendous Christmas. And then it's all lit up. Let's get lit. I love that. I really like that sentiment, actually. And then hands up if you've been good. It's another one with Rudolph, and then the presents. And then also, just to give you some other examples, you don't have to use them with the mechanism. This is a lovely sample that Gemma, who's on my design team, made using the snowman, and it spins. It's snow time. She's also made this one here using half of the 5x7 flip dies. So you've got this cute little style. Great to put a gift card behind there as well. And then there's also this one here, which is a peekaboo style using the stamps. This is nice because of the 2 different poses. It's like popping in there, waving. And then again, another favourite is using the Slide and Reveal die set, and she's created like the North Pole. So the Santa's workshop, and there he is inside. Dear Santa, define naughty. And again, she's got the little sign there, and that all stands up. You've got your space on the back there to write your message. There's another very cute style, and I like that she's used the fluffy stuff all on the windows and stuff there. So some really lovely dimension. But today is all about the 6x6 set. So let's get started, and I'll show you how to make it. So this is the 6x6 set. So you get 8 dies. So there, and then on the back, nice big dies, and we'll go through each of those in a moment. And then I'm going to be doing another snowman style, but I'm going to be using the holly, whereas on the ones that I've done and the one Gemma did, we used the gloves there. So I thought it'd be nice just to show you those being used. Not sure if I'm going to use that sentiment yet, or the sentiment that comes in the stamp and dies, because they're all in here together. So your stamps and dies are all in that. And then papers, I've already cut my paper, but I've gone for the snowfall again there, because it's just perfect for the snowman. But a lot of these are just smaller designs of the ones that were in my Papercraft Society box. So you might look at those and think, I recognise some of those. That's where they were from. Okay, so you want to cut yourself the main largest die here. So I'm using a white smooth cardstock, so it's easy to colour and stamp onto. So one of that large one. This is your frame for your pattern paper or cardstock. You might be embossing, but you want to make sure that the widest part is at the top, because that's the way it will stick onto your piece here. So that will stick over there. You'll see you get a nice frame, and then the other part of the shutters will come down into this space. It will fill this nicely. So that's the perfect matte layer. So cut that one in whatever papers. Then you want to cut this one here, which I've already done. I've used white. This is a reinforcement, and it just will allow everything to look nice and allow the pull piece to run smoothly, except, you know, it won't have anything catching. And then on this side, you've got the same again, but with the slots. So all of these little pieces are going to feed in here. This will then sandwich it and just keep it all nice and concealed. So one of each of those. You need one of this one here. And then you'll want to cut yourself 3 of the widest little shutter here, and then 1 of the thinner one. So you'll see them there. There's your small and large. 3 of the large and 1 of that size. And then this one here, you want to cut it in cardstock, because that's the stopper. But also, this is optional, but I do think it makes a difference. Cut them again in some foam, or just cut them a few times in cardstock and stick them on top of each other. This is going to help just keep everything in line, and so that you get that nice kind of movement when you pull it up and down. So I've just cut 2 of those in. There's actually the double-sided foam sheets, so there's adhesive on both sides there, but optional. But I do think if you start making a few of these, I always say practice with some like cardstock that, you know, you're not too bothered about, and you can then see, you know, how it all works. Okay, now another thing, now this is one of my little tips. If you've got any pieces of wax lying around, maybe you've come to the end of a candle, you always get that piece. They're always handy for smoothing off the edges, especially with kinetic cards. If you think about when you wax a car and then you buff it up, it's nice and smooth and shiny. It's that kind of same principle, but on the cardstock. If you don't have wax, if you've got your anti-static buddy, that will be, you know, good to kind of just smooth off the edges. And also, if you've got a glue eraser, you can use that as well. But I do find the wax works the best. Because we've got that open and close movement, and this goes for any kinetic card, use this in the same way on like your sliders, shutter cards, things like that. It's a really, really good little tip. So on all of these pieces here, and on this piece here as well, what you might sometimes get is, you know, when the die's cut, you get little kind of pieces. And because everybody's going to be using different kind of cardstock, this is a just under 300 GSM smooth cardstock. But I don't know what everyone's using, and when you buy kinetic cards, usually they've been made in the factory and they've all been made with the same products, and that's why obviously they're going to all work. So I just want to share these little tips so that hopefully everybody will get a really nice movement to their kinetic card. So all I did is just rub it just on all of the edges, because this is all going to have these bits sliding in and out. Just on all of the sides. Don't worry if little bits come off, because you can just wipe that away. So whether you're using the wax or the glue eraser, some of my cards I didn't do this, and then when I started to use it I was amazed at the difference. So it's definitely worth doing. So you can see there, and then I just got a little bit of tissue and just buff all the pieces off. So this is actually a scented candle as well, I can smell it, so that's always a nice little extra. You got your scented cards, and you want to do all this before we start obviously adding our stamped image and colour. And it doesn't leave, like, it's not going to make any difference to your stamped images and stuff because it's such a small amount. And just pop the tissue in there like so. And you'll do the same as this on the 5x7 as well. And you can, I guess, do it on the sides of this as well, because that is going to slide up and down. It's just taking off any little bits like so. Okay, now another little thing, I've cut two here because I just want to show you. So when you slide this, basically this piece you're going to now slide in, bottom end here, and this side here needs to go over these two pieces. So see how that's just sliding over, but at the same time you need to kind of push the top one under so it goes like that. Okay, now I haven't done this on all mine. You'll see there's these little gaps here, which is fine. It actually helps everything move. But what I would suggest, if you just want to clean that up a little bit, just take a tiny piece off. It doesn't matter which end because they're both the same. You just take a little bit off, and then that shorter end that I've just cut that piece from, once you pop it on, you'll see it's just disappeared. Okay, then you want to grab your quick grab glue, and you just want to run a bead of glue just underneath this piece here, and just make sure that you've pushed it down into that space, and just do the same on this side. Okay, so now we've got our 4 slots, 1, 2, 3, 4. Another little tip you might want to do is just go over your score lines. I say this with all of mine. It's just worth going over them, and then that way you know that you won't get any cracking or anything. But don't burnish that yet. You want this all flat because you're going to be stamping onto it. Then you want to take this piece here, and you're going to have the smallest one go in the very top slot, and then these 3 will go in the ones below. So start off with the bottom one, and you're going to pop that in, and then you're going to add some glue on the top and then fold it down, and make sure that that is butted and pushed right up into that area. It needs to be nice and straight, parallel with that bottom piece there. You're then going to make sure these all run parallel and line up with each one, with the one underneath. So I'm going to slot that one in, again add my glue, and then just lay that down. You can see it does wiggle, so that's why. Just make sure that it all runs straight, and you can see there they're running. You don't want anything sticking out that could potentially catch. And then the next one, and then the last one. Okay, I'm using the snowman. Now a stamping platform is going to be your best friend with this, because you've got to go over those kind of layers. You might find that you have to stamp it, you know, push it down a couple of times. So whatever's on this piece will be the image that's on the top. So it's the image they're first to see. This is then the image that will be revealed. So I'm going to sit this one in first, and I'm going to have this snowman here. So the one that's kind of not dressed, this one's got his gloves on and his hat. He's just got the scarf on there. Okay, so the one on here, you want to have it more towards the bottom, because about, I'd say that amount is going to be kind of hidden. So just, you know, take that into account. I wouldn't go right up here because it won't all be shown. So I'm going to stamp it about there. And then I'm just using my VersaFine because it's a nice ink to pick up all the detail in your stamps. Make sure it's not going to move, and then just stamp that down. And then just over the kind of layers where they overlap each other, just put a little bit more pressure but that looks like that's transferred fine. And then if you want to have a bit of a darker image, I think I'd like his buttons a little bit darker. I'm just going to go over that again. There we go. So that's him done. And then this one here. So you want to make sure that if I turn it that way, they're all pockets. Okay, so you can put your finger in from the top, turn it around. And you just remember it needs to be so that that goes along this top section here. If you put it that way, you can see it doesn't fill it. So you'll know it's the right way. It fits perfectly within this piece here. So just make sure you got it the right way up. And then I'm going to just clean this one. I'm going to take the other snowman. And this time you want to focus on getting it nearer to this top piece here. And in the middle there as well. And then again, just where there's that kind of overlap, just add a little bit more pressure. Yeah, so I need to just push down there. You can see it soon transfers. And then I'm just going to go over that one more. Okay, so that's those stamped. Then whilst you've got your stamping platform out, just go and stamp any of the other images. So you can see I've got the holly there, and I've already popped some accent glaze in the centres. I've cut the snowball pile there, and I've also cut the snowflakes there. I've got the three different sizes. Okay, so they're both coloured in. So you might want to do this before you even attach these, but you've got the pull, and that's in every one of the stamp sets. But if you haven't got this set, I also have my Push Me Pull You one, and that's got every single kind of action word that you can think of. So I'm just going to ink this one up, and I want to stamp this one right across the middle there. There we go. And then you can add your glue all on the back of this piece. Now I like to use, you want to use a construction glue ideally, because this needs to become nice and strong so that it can obviously be pulled up and down easily. And you want to make sure that no glue goes off onto these pieces. It needs to be within that piece. I'm now going to just fold and burnish the sides here, and I'm also going to stick the pattern paper down. And then you'll see when you lay that right down, you get that nice frame all the way around the edge, and it frames that middle section. Just give it a little wipe, make sure there's nothing sticky on it. And the good thing is you can test all this first before we then stick it onto our card blank. What's going to happen next is this bottom one is going to go in this bottom. So you should have 4 slots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of these panels has to go in each slot. So it takes a minute to kind of get used to it. But if you see already, I can see the 2 there are going at the same time. But I want to get the 3rd one in. So you just have to kind of bend this back. And then again, just that one, just to kind of slot them in. Once you get them in, it takes a minute, because there'll always be one that wants to, yeah, that the second one's come back out again. You go in slightly angled, so I can just see, there we go, can you see 1, 2, 3, I can just see all of them. So I just need to flip it over, and then it will just slide down, there we go, it's in. And then just do a little test, so you can see now, and just keep doing that. And if you're happy that you've got a nice movement with it, then that's fine, we can go ahead and stick it down. But if something doesn't feel right, you've still got time to be able to go in and have a look. Then what you want to do is pull the tab until they've all disappeared. You want it to be right, you should, if you go down to like on an angle here, I can just see the ends of them, that's how you want it to be. Turn it over and take your stopper, add a little bit of glue to each end, and this is going to go right on top. Well, you're going to butt it right up to the top of this piece here, because that will stop it now. But only put the glue on the ends, because that again needs to be able to slide nicely. Ooh, and I pulled that too soon. Make sure it's stuck, but you'll see how that's going to now stop that. Okay. Then these pieces are the ones that I said were optional, but what could happen is it could, as someone pulls it, they might pull it slightly off to the left or to the right. Having these pieces, I think, is just going to kind of help them pull it up straight. So this is just that foam, and I'm just going to stick it as close as you can get it without it touching those pieces. Can you see? Again, just check that it's not going to, you know, to interfere with them. And then again. Okay, I can see that's working nicely. Next, we can stick it all down. So I'm just going to take the backing off the foam, because that's already got the tape there. Like I said, you might not have those there. And then I'm going to add my glue on that side. And I got myself a 6x6 card blank. You can have it as a side fold or a top fold. I always generally like to do these as a top fold. And you'll see it will fit perfectly in there with a nice frame. And then I can decorate it. So I've cut these two. I thought it'd be nice to have one there. And then I think I'm going to just maybe cut a little bit of that way. We'll see. And then I've got the snow ball pile there. And then I need to get my sentiment as well. A couple of the snowflakes. Now, whatever you have decorated, have it lifted up on foam or away from this piece here. Like they could slightly, you know, go overhang into this area here, but it has to be lifted up on some foam. So just make sure, again, nothing sticky touches any of that. But I kind of like the snowflakes there. I'm going to add some accent glaze to that. I think we can, let's see, let me just have a look at the sentiment. So just stuck everything down. I'm just finishing it with some accent glaze on the snowballs. They won't take too long to dry. I've added some more leaves there just to make it a bit fuller. I'd need a bigger envelope, but it's fine. And now you can see when you pull the top there, you get that lovely image. You could have a hidden message there as well. I just think it's such a sweet little style. So I hope that's helped all of you that have purchased this set. As always, thank you for supporting me, and I hope you enjoy using it and making lots of different cards, not just for Christmas. This mechanism will work for many occasions all year round. Take care. Bye.
Isn't that absolutely amazing? A beautiful collection. I love all of Sam's kinetic cards, the way they move. I have so many ideas when I see these kinetic cards for people I want to gift them to, different ideas I'm going to do with them. But as I say, it's the Shutter Blind collection from Made to Surprise. It's at 30% off for a Black Friday deal. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, do we want to hike this up a little bit? Do we want to go up to 40% off of something? Absolutely. Now, I know a lot of you are big Sheena fans. Sheena has joined the CraftStash family. I think it was earlier this year, just before, I can't remember. It's probably, time has probably flown. She's probably been with us about 8 years and I've not even realised, but it feels like it's getting on for a year now that she's been with us, almost. But Sheena has launched the most beautiful Christmas collection, and this is the perfect time of year to grab it. It's Heartfelt Christmas. You may have seen examples already. She puts lots on her social media. We put lots on CraftStash social media as well. And this is the collection. So the Heartfelt Christmas collection. This is currently at 40% off. Amazing deals again. And make sure you can see that and not behind any graphics or banners. There we go. So Heartfelt collection, Heartfelt Christmas collection from Sheena. That is at 40% off. Now we're rattling through these deals, aren't we? Do we want another one? Let's see. So on my notes, what's the next one to do? So we've got Christina Griffiths. Right, so Perfectly Matched was the stunning collection from Christina, Card Making Magic. Now, this collection is these beautiful gatefolds that kind of fit into each other. They're not just your straight edge gatefolds. They are so beautiful. Christina's going to give you a little demonstration, but let me see. We have, is that correct? I don't know if I've made my notes right. 50% off? 50% off of Perfectly Matched from Card Making Magic. You'll find all these deals at CraftStash. So you've got the the address there that you can refer to. If you're in the States, it's obviously not .co.uk but .us. So let's join Christina and see what she's got to show us from the Perfectly Matched collection.
Hi everybody, it's Christina from Card Making Magic. So this is the Perfectly Matched collection, and there are 4 different die sets in this, plus some stamps with some frames on it, perfect frames, and these are perfect words. So in the past I have created different cards with these. This is using the sunflowers, and this is a gatefold with a wrap round it. This is one using some acetate with the butterflies, and this is one that I did not long ago using inks to colour the background for the sunflowers. So for today's card we're going to use the butterflies, and we're going to do a really quick, make a really quick card with this. So there are 2 pieces to this die set, and if you look at it carefully, only one side has a cutting edge. This side doesn't. This will stay in your card. And this is a 7-inch piece of white card. And if you look, the dies are perfectly matched to work with each other. So once you've die cut it, this is what you will have. And you can add these to an A5 card. You can add them to a 5x7. And that's just using one side. You'll need to trim it out, of course, to get it out of the die completely, out of the card completely. And that's now come out of the card. So we can add that to a 5x7 card. We can add it to a 6x6 card using both sides, because this of course will come out as well. So there you've got both sides. You'd need to trim down the sides once you've got it in. But what I'm going to do is trim mine down even more, and I'm going to add mine to a little A6 card. So I'm going to use one piece on one card and this piece on another. Now in the top of this is the panel that will go on the top of my card. So into this I'm going to stamp a sentiment, and I'm going to colour it before I add it to my card. So I'm going to go over my panel with some talcum powder just to take the fingerprints off it. I've got my stamp in position. I'm going to add my embossing ink. I'm going to stamp that down, and we'll stamp it twice just to make sure that it's taken properly. And then I'm going to sprinkle that with some white powder. Now you won't see that white powder until I start to colour the card, but it will be there. So we'll add the excess powder back into the jar. Now there's the sentiment. I don't know if you can make it out, but I'm going to heat emboss that now, and then we'll colour the card. So with that now heat embossed, I've got 3 new inks that I want to use. So I've got Speckled Egg, Salvage Patina and Uncharted Mariner. So I'm going to start at the top of the card with the palest. And we'll start off the card and work our way on. Now it is very pale, this. You might just be able to see it. And I'm going to come down the card this way, so that in this corner at the bottom I have the darkest. So we'll run the 2 colours into each other there, and then down at the bottom we'll come in with the darkest. And so we'll start off the card. We'll come onto the card and just keep going round in little circles till you get all your ink blended onto the card. Now I'm using Distress Oxides, and they do blend really well. So don't worry about the blotchiness, it will dry out and they will blend together really well. So for both of these pieces now we're going to add a little bit more to make them sparkle. So I've got some Perfect Pearls here, and I'm just going to very lightly mist the top of this, and then we'll blot it up with some paper. And this is just kitchen roll. So we'll now leave that to dry, and that's got the nice speckle on the bottom. Now for this one we've got some embossing ink and I have a brayer. And all I'm going to do is roll some of the embossing ink over the die cut. And then I have some sparkling snow embossing powder, and I'm going to sprinkle the top of that die cut, and then I'm going to heat set it. So once that's all covered, we can shake off the excess, and now we can heat set that with the heat gun. So now with that all sparkled up, and this has got some sparkle on it, you can just about see it, we're going to add this to the card. So we'll leave just a small border at the top and the bottom, and we'll add this in to the bottom with some foam. So there's the finished card with some beautiful sequins added to it. And I've also done another one using the other piece of the die cut, and I've done that in pink. So I'm just going to add some pink sequins to the top of this, and that will be two really pretty cards then ready to send to my recipient. So for these two cards I've used the perfectly matched butterflies, and I've used a stamp from the Perfect Words. But this is the rest of the collection that's now available. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
How gorgeous was that? So two cards, not just one, two lots of inspiration for you from Christina there from the Perfectly Matched collection. So that has 50% off until Monday at midnight. All of these deals. I will do a recap at the end. Don't forget the giveaway as well, so make sure you're commenting. And again, I will recap that question at the end as well. So the last offer that I want to mention, but as I say, there's so much more. I mean, I could be here all day telling you about everything that's on CraftStash for Black Friday from the entire week. Just don't have that sort of time, and neither do you. So this is just a roundup of my favourite offers. Now, Simply Made Crafts, another exclusive brand for CraftStash, sorry, not from, for, either way. Helen Griffin, she designs the most beautiful, kind of very often 3D elements in die form. We have beautiful papers and such as well. Now we are looking at this Black Friday at Holly Jolly, another Christmas item for you. It's definitely the time of year to be starting getting your Christmas makes underway if you haven't already. Now the Holly Jolly collection has a huge 50% off as well. I told you it's just getting bigger and bigger offers, isn't it, as we go on. A massive 50% off of Holly Jolly. Now Helen has offered us a fantastic demonstration again to show you what you could be doing if you grab Holly Jolly in the Black Friday sale.
Hi everyone, it's Helen here from Simply Made Crafts. Thank you very much for joining us today. So I'm going to be working on the Holly Jolly collection, and this is what we have left. We've had a few sellouts, so I'm going to quickly do an overview on what we have left, and then we're going to jump straight into the project. And I also have some lovely digital papers that I'll be using as well. Okay, so this is the Spirit Bottle gift box die set. I absolutely love that one. I have a bottle of wine in that one actually, but it will also hold spirit bottles as well. So we're going to be working on this one today. Going to be making a variation of this one. We also have the faceted cracker. I do have the die sets here so you can kind of see in your heads there with everything matching up. So we have the faceted cracker there. Lovely Vicky made this one. And then we also have the Christmas words die set. I absolutely love this one. It's got the shadows for the words and the tag as well. So Vicky's made a lovely card here, and she's also made a tag mini album as well. It's very interactive, and I believe she does have a video on this on her YouTube channel, which is Crafty Heaven. So make sure you're following if you're not already. And then we also have the all occasion bottle collars die set. So this one is a lot of fun as well. So these actually fit on top of the bottle just like that. So that's gonna be perfect, you know, for giving to the hostess if you've been invited to a party, dinner parties, birthdays, New Year's, all occasion. So we have a tux there, we have a Father Christmas, another Father Christmas there, because you get the belts and the beards and everything, and we also get the corset as well. So it's perfect for like those big birthdays too. Okay, so I did say something about papers. Now these are 2 paper pads that have sold out. So this is the Holly Jolly paper that has sold out, but it is now available in a digital version, and that will be available in the digital section in the essentials part of the CraftStash website. And we have here, some of you might not recognize this, some of you will. This is the traditional Christmas. This was my very first paper pad that I made with Simply Made Crafts. So this was from my very first collection. Now, if you've been with me that long, you'll recognize this, but this is now available in the digital format, and I cannot be more excited. So we're going to be working with this one today, because all of the other samples that I've shown you was made using, or were made using, the Holly Jolly Christmas paper pack. So we're going to be working with traditional Christmas today. So as I said, we're going to be making a variation of this bottle box there, but we're going to be making it into a cracker. Now let's have a quick look at the die set, because I have a couple of samples to show you quickly. Here is the die set here. So we have this square bottom as well, so you can make a square cracker topped gift box using the square base and 2 of these side panels, and then you can also add these to this side and this side to make a long double cracker, or you can shorten your panels there, cut them in half, and you can make a shorter cracker as well. So you can fit lovely things in there too. So we're going to be making another variation that you can make with this. That's at least 4 I can think of so far, but I'm sure there might be, you know, might be even a few more than that. Okay, so cut everything out, and I've used these beautiful new papers, and the first thing I need to do is, we don't need these tabs, so I'm going to trim those off. You can use scissors, but I'm going to quickly use my trimmer, and I'll be speeding this up as well. Okay, if you want to have a base to your cracker that you're making, leave these tabs on, because they're quite essential for that style. Right, so the next thing we need to do is adhere all of these together, and then I have 6 of the tops. So we've got 3 for the top and 3 for the bottom, and I'm just going to adhere those just like that. So, but with the magic of editing, ta-da, all done. That's actually quite a large cracker there that we're going to be making today. So all I have to do now is just take off this edge here. I'm using tape today, but this project will stay together for longer. If you wanted to make this in like an ornament or something like that, it will last longer if you use glue. So just going to press that down. Just line all of your score lines up. There we go, give that a press, and then I'm just going to glue together these last 2 tabs. Again, you can make these little end pieces out of the patterned paper as well, especially if you're printing this out onto cardstock. There we go. Let's leave that to dry whilst we work on our little finishing touch there. So I'm going to be using this one, which is the Christmas Words die set. Comes with the tag, so I have my tag ready to go, and I've got my words as well. I'm going to use some foam pieces. And then I've also, should I have that wonky off to the side? No, I'm going to have that straight, because I'm going to have this one on just off to the side, and I've also made some holly and berries here using this one here, just with some red glitter drops on there. And here's a lesson. I don't know if my camera's going to pick that up, but hey, I put something on top of that and it went flat, so yeah. Always leave these to dry properly. Now these would look excellent with just a little bit of a foam pad, just lifting that up as well. So I'm just going to add my glue just to the berries, and that will leave these holly leaves there that you can lift up just for a bit of dimension. Okay, now I've used the Joy to the World saying and used the backing, the shadow for that too. Pop that on. Okay, we're going to pop that on just there. I'm going to now seal one side of this cracker just with a bit of ribbon. Now my ribbon doesn't entirely match, but overall this goes okay with all of the reds that I'm using. I'm using quite a few different shades of red here, from the papers to the cardstock to also the red in the berries, so it all just ties in nicely. Okay, so I've got my first bow down and I have a scarf here. Better put this glue back on, put the lid back on that. Oh, I don't want to get glue on this scarf that I have as a gift, so I am going to take this off because this isn't going to fit inside there, but leave the tag on if it has a tag, just so the recipient knows it's brand new. Okay, so I'm going to roll that up. It will be visible through this hole here, so if you want to wrap it up in tissue paper, do that as well. So we're going to pop this inside. There we go. And then we're going to just tuck everything in. This is the perfect size for that scarf. It's absolutely perfect. Right, let's get this tied up. Okay, so that is our cracker made using the Spirit Bottle box die set. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that for my children's birthdays I make them a giant birthday cracker. I'm definitely going to be using this die set this year for my son's birthday, so he's going to really enjoy that. So I absolutely love the versatility of this die set. It's really fun to use. Look at all these projects that I've made using this. Now don't forget about the digital papers. I'm super duper excited to be having my very first digital papers available. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you all again soon.
There we go. How wonderful is that? So we have had the Papercraft Society boxes, just £10 for some of those. We've had Made to Surprise Shutterblind collection at 30% off. We've had Sheena's Heartfelt collection, her Heartfelt Christmas collection, sorry, at 40% off. We've had Card Making Magic Perfectly Matched at 50% off, and we've had Simply Made Crafts Holly Jolly at 50% off. Whew. I think that's everything, but do you want to win yourself that £50 CraftStash voucher? This is to spend on our exclusive brands, such as the brands that we've been talking about today. Now, all you need to do is comment. It doesn't matter whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on YouTube. If you please comment and let us know, what would you spend a £50 voucher on at CraftStash? If you had to buy exclusive brands with it, which is your favourite? Where would you purchase? Which maybe collection did you maybe not have the budget for when it first came out and you'd absolutely spend it on that? Just let us know in the comments. We're going to keep the comments open until the end of Cyber Monday. That's midnight next Monday, the 28th. So you can come back later, you can comment later when you've had a browse through the collections online and see what you might want to spend yours on, and we will contact you if you are a winner. That's 3 of you going to win. So good luck for that, everybody. Thank you to all of you for joining me for Black Friday. As I say, we've had deals all week. Every single Black Friday deal that you see appearing either in your inbox from CraftStash or on the website, on the homepage, any of those deals are going to last until next Monday at midnight. So you've got a little bit of time over the weekend to browse and be spending, be filling up your baskets and be stocking up your CraftStash stash. So keep an eye out over the weekend for even more offers as well. Grab these ones that I've been talking about, because these are going to, now I've mentioned them, they're going to fly. And at those prices, those discounts on 30, 40, 50%, I'm not surprised. Thank you again, everybody, for joining me. Have a lovely Black Friday weekend. Get yourself some deals in. Make sure you enter the competition to win a £50 voucher. And I will see you again next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.